Hello and welcome to another update video about XRP. Well, again, back at 50 cents. It's a highly volatile chart, but without clear direction. As you know, I warned about this chart before. I highlighted we do not have 5 waves to the upside, only 3 so far, and we need 5 to have a clear perspective for medium-term and long-term higher prices. But XRP failed again to rally in 5 waves, so it leaves us with a WXY corrective structure. Now we take a look at what that might mean, because we need to zoom out and just take a look at the bigger picture again. I want to avoid that you're confused, so I want to give you, again, first of all, taking the bigger picture into account, the scenarios that there are, basically, okay? So I see two main scenarios. In reality, there are many more. The reason that there are many more is because this chart has been moving in corrective structures. But I'm giving you, to keep it simple, a bullish and a bearish scenario. And I will tell you the relevant levels that need to hold or need to be broken to make each scenario more likely. And I'm also going to tell you which one I'm leaning to right at the moment, okay? But that can change. I mean, that's just what I'm leaning to. That doesn't really matter. What really matters is to stay objective and what are the relevant levels that matter, okay? So let's take a look at the scenarios. So the first scenario, which is the bullish one. This is really the bullish one. Yeah, in this scenario, we had a wave 1 to the upside into 2017, a wave 2 to the downside. And basically now we are already in a third wave rally. So basically this wave 2 finished in 2020. And we're basically in this third wave rally, which would be a very bullish interpretation, unfortunately. Obviously everybody were like, all the XRP fans were waiting for XRP to moon, you know, after that court case result or the ruling, which of course didn't happen. Not much surprise, because that's typically what happens. Buy the rumors, sell the news. We talked about that. And it didn't do it. So this scenario is already, just by looking at that and the low buy interest at the moment, it's just getting less likely, just purely because of that. But nevertheless, we can give it a chance. But what needs to happen for that? Basically, the problem I have is that after the 2020 low, price only rallied in a corrective structure. I mean, that's crystal clear. You can see that. This is not an impulse. This is an ABC structure. So it can work as a wave 1, but it is very ambiguous. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation. And if this is a wave 1, then the wave 2 happened possibly already. I mean, that's the next question. Has the wave 2 actually bottomed? So far, we have no strong evidence for that. But even, let's say it has, it would have bottomed here in June 22. Then there is a pathway higher in the third wave, yes. In the third wave, but it would mean that we are now in this small third wave. So the third of a third wave, okay, because waves 1 and 2 already bottomed or finished. Yeah, 1, 2. We're basically now in the third of a third wave. This works as long as we're holding above the 11.8 cent level. But this is quite far away, so we don't want to use that level. We want to use the 78.6 Fibonacci level, which is at 21.3 cents. So this particular bullish scenario works as long as we're holding above 21.3 cents, just by looking at Fibonacci levels. But if we assume that a wave 2 already bottomed here, yeah, then we must not drop any more below the June 22 low. And then we can look at the Fibonacci levels in a different way, and we can easily say that as long as we're holding 37.5 cents, it could still move higher. But is that a reliable scenario? Not for me, because it's moving in corrective structure. So the only way, in my opinion, how this all could still work out higher from here would be that we count the move of the June 22 lows to the high in September 22 as a wave W, as we did have it before, an X wave down, and we peaked in a Y wave. So WXY complete, okay. But this WXY structure would be part of a larger A wave. We're now coming down in a B wave and would move up in a C wave later. This is a realistic scenario, but just not very reliable, okay? Why is that needed? Why do we have to count it as an ABC? Well, because XRP has been moving in 3-wave structures for years, and you can see that the wave 1 was a 3-wave move. So the wave 2 has to be 1, and the wave 3 as well. That's just a rule, a diagonal, okay? So this is the only way, in my opinion, how we can really count this as something bullish still. It's a bit of a hopium count, and we can go with it officially as long as this wave 2 is not broken to the downside. So 28.9 cents, yeah? And then we would be coming down in a B wave now and break through higher in a C wave. Now that's the bullish hopium count. The bearish wave count is the one that we say, okay, we are in a huge triangle. We basically peaked in wave 1 here, and we are still in this large wave 2, which would end somewhere down there. So we would basically make a new all-time low. And then we had an A wave down. The B wave is now a triangle, and eventually we would see a break to the downside. To keep it very simple, it means we could see some more sideways movement over the coming weeks and months. And if we break below the levels that I highlighted to you just for the bullish count as support, then this would increase the probabilities for this bearish count, which is still long-term bullish potentially because we had a wave 1 to the upside, and we just need to finish off this wave 2, which is huge. Okay, these are the two scenarios. For simplicity reasons, we are focusing on the bullish wave count. However, I can tell you that the bearish one is very likely. Yeah, this is not an uptrending chart really that gives us very aggressive upside price action because it's been moving in 3-wave structures, and the move down is very likely as well. It's all about trading reward and risk here if you're looking for something, because there is not really the case directly, high probability case for upside. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you have a question about that. Okay, very important. Now, looking at the sub-wave structure, if we then say we are in this B wave here and we still track our WXYXZ pattern that we talked about yesterday and the day before, beautiful to see how it never broke above that trend line. Yeah, we highlighted that only a break above this trend line would be a first indication that a low is in. So never broke, never gave us a signal. So trend continuation down was preferred, made a new low here. And honestly, at some point, it just needs to turn around. It's got a pretty full pattern. And I think the next relevant support, if you zoom out a little bit, could be, let me just zoom out a bit. I mean, it might be, I just need to make sure I've got that covered here. It might be that trend line, right, where we have 2 touch points, but it's not enough really for a valid trend line. But something to watch. It's just something to watch. So far, we had our ascending broadening wedge. As you know, typically these patterns break to the downside eventually, more often than not at least. And I mean, we've got a trend line down here. I'm not sure if that is really relevant, but if we add the VRVP, I mean, I just want to figure out, what is relevant support if we drop any lower. You have a point of control here around the 38, 37 cent level. And is that not the support level that I just told you for the bullish scenario? It is 37.2 cents, the 78.6 FIB level. So that's going to be a relevant support level as we come down lower, possibly next support if we lose today's intraday low. Yeah, that's my update about XRP. I hope that makes sense. Let me know. There are 2 scenarios. I think it should be pretty clear. The relevant support levels were stated. Just note that trading this chart is extremely difficult. It is a very ambiguous chart, means it leaves a lot of room for interpretation because it's just been moving sideways. I mean, you can just trade the trend lines if you want to. I mean, see, it's up to you, but I just still see the strong compelling case for further upside. I just need it proven to believe it. And here again, the analysis shows why it is worth waiting for clarity, because we highlighted over the last few weeks that really the first really reliable viewpoint about XRP going to the upside would be if we can form 5 waves up. So that would also be the first reliable trade setup, getting 5 waves up and then scaling into the pullback. Here again, it failed. So it's the importance to wait for 5 waves. But obviously I still present other scenarios, but the importance of waiting for 5 waves for clarity is often what I emphasize. And we've seen it again, how important that was with Bitcoin, because a few days ago, Bitcoin tried to break higher, right? But it never made 5 waves. So we said we still focus on lower until we see those 5 waves, until we see a clear bottoming structure. Yeah, XRP as well. We need 5 waves to have a compelling case that an uptrend is ongoing. At the moment, this is a bit of a forced count, the hopium count. We're still tracking it. Either way, I think we have now reached here some kind of a low, or are going to reach it soon, because we are pretty oversold on various time frames, 4 hour and daily. Yeah. But not ready yet, as it seems. Not ready yet, might do one more low. Yeah, that's my update about XRP. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.